Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristi Martin, and this year I am doing my student teaching in West Palm Beach, Florida. And long time no see. I honestly haven't gotten on here in a while, but I had to get on here today because it's officially fall and I love fall. Obviously I'm in my cozy sweater even though it's like 90 degrees outside, but because we live in Florida, but I had to share ways that I get in the fall mood because it's not like leaves are falling outside or anything like that. But I do love to come home and burn candles that smell like fall. So I have to show two of my favorites just really quick because I love them so much. This one is pumpkin clove, and basically I love pumpkin spice. You know, this is like pumpkin spice in a jar, which has been really awesome. I get home and I just burn it and I love it. So very pumpkin-y, but really yummy. The other one is like less pumpkin-y. It's called spiced cider. And it's like cinnamony and appley goodness all in a jar. And it's not as pumpkin-y. So if you like more like cinnamon and things, oh, this is your candle. Spice cider. They're both from Anthropologie, and I'll link them down below. But that's just one way that I've been getting in the cozy fall spirit. And of course, it is fall in first grade, which is so exciting. We've had so much fun, and we had so much fun because one of our days was Johnny Appleseed Day, and the kids got to wear apple colored shirts or dress up like Johnny Appleseed and come to school. And that day we had apple taste testing, so they got to taste things like apple pie filling, apple chips, apple slices, apple butter, all things apple. And that week we were doing this 5 senses, and we actually observed an apple slice using all 5 of our senses, and obviously taste was their favorite. So by Friday they were pros at taste testing. I'll show you what my teacher made me. She made all the kids these hats, and so mine says Johnny Appleseed's assistant. So this was the one that I wore, which was kind of fun. And it's supposed to be like the pot that Johnny Appleseed wore on his head as he traveled across America and planted apple seeds. The kids had their name and then Appleseed as their last name, which was really fun for them. They loved it. So that was just like a fun way to celebrate Johnny Appleseed Day. Obviously, I'm doing science as one of my subjects, and I got to do some apple experiments with the kids. So I think their favorite was when we did apple volcanoes, and this is such a fun experiment that I want to show you because it might be something that your kids would enjoy if you're a student teacher or a teacher, and let's check it out. I'll show you how to do it. It's super fun. All right, this is the apple volcano experiment. You need baking soda, distilled white vinegar, and food coloring, and then you also need a knife to cut your apple. So what you have to do first is cut your apple like this, so you're kind of cutting in to make a little pocket for the baking soda and vinegar and everything to go in. So you're making like a little volcano nook for it. So let me do that to my 2 apples. Cut the volcano part. So there's my volcano part in both of my apples. You see that little like hole there, so then everything can go in that hole. So I'm going to take the tops out. So I'll just take them and put them to the side. And now I have my 2 apples ready to be volcanoes. So I'm going to take my baking soda, and I just put a decent amount of baking soda inside the apple. So there it is, quite a bit, because the more of this, the more volcano you get, I feel like. Also, I chose to use green apples. When I did it with my class, I actually did 1 yellow, 1 red, and 1 green, and we saw which one fizzes more. We kind of like made that our science experiment, if that makes sense. So I found out green. Green works the best. So if you want to just do 1 color, I would say do green. Alright, so you put a few drops of food coloring in your baking soda. This is just for fun, honestly. Just to be able to see color, which first graders obviously love. So I'm going to do blue in this one. And then we will do our volcano. So I have red in this one, blue in this one, and now it is time for volcano action. For distilled white vinegar, and you open it up and then you just pour it. I found that consistent pouring gives for a better volcano effect. Instead of just doing it all at once, you kind of just pour until it runs out of doing the volcano. So that's kind of fun. And it just, a volcano fizzes out all over the place. So obviously green apples work the best, and that's how you do an apple volcano. It was really fun and the kids loved it. Let's see. Okay, I'll move this so you can see. Be really quiet. Let's see. Do you think it was more or less fizzy? Another sciencey apple thing that we did was a week-long experiment, which I had never done with the kids, but they did really well and they really enjoyed it. We had an experiment about what keeps apples from rotting the best. So we had 4 jars. One had lemon juice, vinegar, water, and air. And we had apple slices in those jars, and we tracked our progress throughout the week. They had a journal that I created, which I'm going to show you, where they drew pictures each day of the apples, and they made a hypothesis at the beginning and a conclusion at the end. And they really enjoyed this experiment, which was super fun. The lemon juice obviously won. I think only 2 of my students actually guessed that in their hypothesis that lemon juice would be the one to keep the apple from rotting the best. But that was a fun fall science experiment that we got to do. Let me show you the journal. The journal that we did for the apple rotting experiment, and this is the front cover of the book that I created. On the first page, we talked about hypothesis and what it was, and they filled in the blank. I think the blank will keep the apple from rotting the best, so obviously they chose from water, vinegar, air, or lemon juice, and they wrote their hypothesis there. Later in the week, they obviously wanted to change their hypothesis, but we also talked about how sometimes scientists can be wrong, and a hypothesis is just a guess, and it's okay if our conclusion comes out different. On day 1, they drew the pictures of the apples, and then there's 5 pages that look like this, and each day they drew what the apples looked like and how they were getting brown, more brown, or if they were shriveling, like the air was shriveling. And then on the very last day of our experiment, they wrote their conclusion. The blank kept the apple from rotting the best, and obviously it was the lemon juice. And this was just a fun way to show the scientific method as well as celebrate apples. If you like this journal, you can head over to my TPT because I uploaded it there. It's free and you can just download it, but I just wanted to share it with you guys because this might be an experiment that you would like to do with your class. This is obviously not an experiment that I made up, but I looked all over the internet for a journal that I kind of liked, especially for first grade. They're writing sentences obviously, but sometimes it's kind of hard or difficult for them, and this is an experiment I kind of just wanted to make easy as a thing that we could do quick throughout the week. So I liked the idea of drawing pictures in the classes each day for first grade. So if you want it, go over to my TPT, I'll link it below, and you can grab it for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can see my videos in the future. I really hope this brightened your day.